Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on today. I cut my hair. I cut it myself. Sorry, I feel like I look a little bit funny. I just felt like cutting it. It was just getting in my face, and I didn't want to wait for a haircut appointment. So I just went in my bathroom and did a little buzz on the top. And I mean, it's all right, but I think I like it a little bit longer, just not too long. So I'm going to do a quick analysis for you guys. Let's take a look at the hot stocks of the day. Of course, AMC. Now, this is what I'm seeing on AMC, and I know everybody's hoping this squeezes to thousands of dollars somehow, or even at least $100. Personally, I don't see it happening. Again, I could be completely wrong. That's my opinion based on my analysis. I've never seen this before, so who knows? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But I will tell you what I see. So by looking at the chart, I was thinking this looks like a bull flag. I think here the problem with this potentially being a bull flag is that there's large upper wicks of profit taking on each day. And that alone is a very bad sign that there's large upper wicks of profit taking each of the last 4 days that it was trading. Also, it broke Friday's high, but there was no follow through. So it broke Friday's high and then it pulled back and there was profit taking and it didn't hold Friday's high as a support. If it was strong and showing strength, it should have held above Friday's high at least. And it should have ended stronger to show potential continuation into tomorrow. So, and now we got this higher low pattern every single day, many days in a row since May 21. Higher low, 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 and higher low. Since May 21, we had higher low on every single daily candlestick. I personally think that pattern is going to break tomorrow. The low of today was 51.50, and a break of that pattern is definitely going to signal consolidation, at least at minimum. I'm not going to sit here and say it peaked or this is the top, okay? But I'll tell you what I at least think is that at minimum some consolidation is due, some range trading, some sideways action, a pullback, more cool off of the RSI at minimum. So that's what I would be looking for, a break of today's low because it's fairly close. Today's low is 51.50. It closed at 55. It can easily break today's low tomorrow, and that would break the trend that's been there since May 21. And obviously, that would be a bad signal for the bulls. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. Now, the question is, how's that going to affect BlackBerry and GameStop? Well, and one more thing with AMC, look where the highest volume is. I might have thought this was the volume peak or something, but this is clearly the volume peak, at least for now, from June 2nd. That day, how many shares traded hands that day? 766 million. And the volumes come down a little bit. Today was 349 million. So there's a big drop off in the volume, which means interest is dying down. Buying pressure is dying down. So that's what I'm looking at. And usually things top out at least temporarily when there's a volume peak. And that's exactly what it was because it did top out then. It wasn't able to pass that high as of yet. And the next few days it signaled consolidation. So that's what I see on AMC. Let's move on to BlackBerry. Take a look at BlackBerry. I think its chart looks a lot stronger. Once again, though, you do have that volume peak, which is concerning because that day there was 536 million volume that day, that's the highest volume on BlackBerry of all time. You can see the volumes dropped off, so interest has died down a bit. My concern, see, I was liking this, and I'm like, maybe that's a bull flag, and maybe we're going to get a push and then another push like this. See if I can little paint something. Brush. I don't know. I've never used this brush before. Okay. That's the biggest it gets. I was thinking we could get something like this. Okay. I do not think that anymore. Okay, I don't know, it doesn't look that great, but I was thinking if we were strong today, I would have thought we would have ended at least something like that. At least show some strength, close stronger than it did, but it didn't seem to close very strong. Now after hours it came up a bit, but again it was unable to pass the high of the day. And the same thing as AMC, it broke the high of Friday without follow through, and there's an upper wick of profit taking. Now, I think the concern here is that this potentially is a little bit of a bear flag. And I can draw out, and when you look at it, and I didn't notice this before, but this could actually be a little bear flag on the daily. And I don't like that. For that reason, I ended up taking profits on my position because I bought back today near the lows. I flipped it. I'm trying to not be greedy. Let me take my profits and run. So that's what I did today. And, I feel comfortable, even though it went up after hours, I feel comfortable having taken my profits today. I feel satisfied. Whether it goes up more tomorrow or not, at the end of the day, I made money. But this could be a bit of a bear flag, so I would be concerned about that. So we're going to look tomorrow, and BlackBerry has the same thing, where it's got a higher low every day since May 24. Higher low, 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 higher low. So a break of that pattern would most definitely signal at least consolidation. And so I'm thinking we could gap up and sell off. Unless we gap up here, then we can show some real strength and break this high. If we're able to break this high, $20.17 US, then we could be looking at the high of January. And then let's go back. Then we could be looking at my targets of around $80 US, which is the upper Bollinger Band on the yearly chart. If we're able to pass January's high. As of now, I don't think we're going to just yet, at least. I'm not going to say it's topped out, but at least temporarily, it looks like it might be due for some consolidation. And I'm going to wait for a little more data before I feel more comfortable re-entering a position other than some day trades trading on the volatility. But again, it's got that higher low pattern. If that breaks, that could signal some downside in the short term. And we got a potential little daily bear flag there. And the high volume at the peak, at the recent high, is kind of concerning. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm not done with BlackBerry. I'm just going to watch it. I need more data to feel comfortable going long on it. And otherwise, I'm just going to take some day trades, buy and sell, perhaps multiple times a day to profit on the volatility. GME, I think this is one of the more healthy ones, GME, because this looks like a potentially big cup and handle. The only thing here is that this could end up being a bit of a rising wedge. And, it's possible we pass that high of 294. 294 was this high right over here. But I think if we do, I think it's a good just take profits right there. I actually had GME. I bought some today. I ended up selling it all in the aftermarket because I just thought, let me not be greedy. Let me take my profits. I want to take my money and run. I want to be safe. I think that's what's always worked for me in the end. Holding on has never worked for me before. Every time I hold on, it's like I'm up money and then I end up losing it when I try and hold on. But when I get in, I make profits and I exit, I tend to do very well with that strategy. So I'm going back to that. That's what I'm sticking to. But GME, I ended up selling it in the aftermarket around 285. Okay, but I think it might pass this high, 294, and I think that's the sell point for tomorrow, because then we're getting a little bit of a rising wedge or sell close to that high, because this looks like it could be a little bit of a rising wedge. Even though this looks like a cup and handle, the handle should be down sloped, not up sloped like this. The handle should be more down like that. The handle should be this way, not upwards like this. This looks like a rising wedge. So exercise caution over there. So exercise caution on all three right now. And I read an article today that the SEC is looking to potentially get involved in these stocks. So There's another red flag there. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy. I'm not giving you any suggestions whatsoever. I'm telling you my analysis and what I see based on the charts and the news and whatnot and whatever else. MindMed, I called it out this morning. You know what I saw, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, it keeps bouncing off this area, and there's several inside bars over here, and I posted it on my Instagram, and I said a break of the inside bar, several in a row, looks like it might run today. And it did, and I had a nice big day, but now it's getting a little too far from the red line. So if it gaps up, I think it's a good sell, because I think if it gaps up, passes all these resistances, fakes more people in, anyone who's bought here, good time for them to take some profits, and I would. It went up 22% today. I would most definitely be taking profits if it went up any more, and that should provide some selling pressure on MindMed tomorrow, unless there's some really big news. But there's no news that I know about. So it was a nice push today. I think could gap up and be a little bit of a sell-off. It's a little too far from the red line, so keep an eye on that. Gap ups are for selling, or at least that's one of the saying. Gap ups are for selling. Gap downs are for buying. Not always, but often. So that's something I'd be looking at. Otherwise, it looks fairly strong. It's been consolidating around this level for a while. But again, look at this volume. You know, high volume tends to signal temporary peaks. But it wasn't on an uptrend prior to this volume. This is a breakout volume and a breakout candlestick from the pattern. So we could get more volume tomorrow, and it could push further tomorrow. I don't know for sure. Okay, but all I know is we're a bit far from the red line, and we touch that red line almost every single day. So unless we run really hard and the red line moves up enough to touch the bottom of the candle, then personally I could see it pulling back at least a little bit tomorrow. I always like to take a look at Tesla, because this stock, I'm just waiting for its judgment day until it drops to where it should be valued at, in my opinion, about $30. Bulls are really trying for a higher low pattern over here. Looks like a little bit of a rising wedge here on the daily, or a little bit of a bear flag. It could move tomorrow. If we get a big push tomorrow and break above this high, then I would be blown away, and then I would be a bit shocked, and then I would start maybe thinking otherwise, at least in the short term. But if we continue this little bit of a higher pattern, it doesn't go much higher, or there's a sell-off tomorrow, I'm going to think this is a bear flag. As of now, I'm not too sure, but as of now, I'm going to lean on the side, and with Tesla, I always lean on the side of bearish most of the time. Okay, but right now, nothing tells me to be too bullish here. It just tells me it's probably a fake out, sucking people in, a little bit of a bear flag, a little bit of a rising wedge, making people think this is kind of a double bottom on the daily, when personally, I don't think it is. I think it's a fake out. Facebook, I like. Facebook's doing well, but a bit of a volume spike today, but nothing too concerning. It broke out to all-time highs. You got this V shape with a little bit of a cup and handle here. Facebook's looking pretty good. Facebook is a bullish stock. I like Facebook. And a lot of these guys were talking so bad about it, telling people to sell, downgrading it. There was so much bad news about Facebook. That means buy a lot of the time. You've seen my video on manipulation. If not, check it out. These guys were telling people to sell Facebook right here, right before it exploded. Terrible. Terrible, 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 the games they play. Okay, so Facebook overall looking good. I think Facebook, you know, it's not one for too much day trading. It's a buy and hold stock. I think that it shows a lot of promise. Facebook runs the world. But again, that also depends on the NASDAQ. And in my other video, I'm going to take a look at the NASDAQ and stuff like that. I was taking a look at FVRR, something I am kind of interested in. I'm thinking it could potentially run tomorrow. It's got a little bit of a cup and handle here, a little bit of a bull flag on the weekly. Okay, nice cup and handle, nice consolidation. This doesn't look like a rising wedge like GME. This is a proper handle. Okay, so I see some good signs over here. No volume spikes. The weekly starting to converge a little bit, not totally. Liking FVRR, at least in the short term. Take a look at some Canadian stocks. ACB has been pushing. I mentioned it in my Canadian stock video the other day. I do like this pattern. It looks pretty clear. Nice, really bullish. It's holding. There was a bit of a volume spike here and here, but it's holding this area as a support for now. And we got a nice bullish break today. We broke to a lower low, and then we ended up breaking the high of Friday, showing strength in riding now above the red line still. Looks pretty good. I was looking on the monthly. I showed this in the other video. Potential inverse head and shoulders on the monthly. We're getting a convergence on a MACD, a bullish MACD on the monthly, on ACB. It looks fairly good to me. Okay. Potentially getting a converging MACD, bullish MACD on the weekly. Okay. But we didn't set a higher low, higher high on the weekly. So we went straight from this low to a new high. So ideally, if bulls break out, they want to pull back, set a higher low before going to set a higher high to develop a healthy trend. There's some stocks. I used to follow this stock, food. Looking interesting, not bad. It consolidated around this area for a while, getting a nice clean pattern over here. You know what? Maybe I should make another video just for the Canadian stocks. Perhaps I'll do that. And I'm going to stop over here. And maybe I'll just look into the Canadian stocks in another video. But this is one to keep an eye on, potentially, food. Okay? CBDT, I just want to show you guys this. I cut it up. I'll make more videos for Canadian stocks another day. I'm going to pass on it today. But CBDT, I want to show you this. It was a 3 gap down. 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap. 1, 2, 3 gap down pattern. Was oversold. And now you can see the bulls push nice move to the upside. Resistance up here. On a break of this resistance would be probably a good profit taking point. Because from there it's over a 50% move. Looks like we're getting a lot of plays today on a lot of the gaming stocks. Luck is up, Fans is up, SCR is up, DraftKings is up, Penn is up. All these online gaming stocks are getting a lot of play again, and they were in a downtrend for a while, so now they're starting to get that play again. So keep an eye on those. I think a new one listed today, Wonder Gaming. Wonder Gaming. I don't know about this stock. I don't know anything about this company whatsoever. Mind you, this chart looks fairly interesting. This is the first time I looked at it. Keep an eye on this one. I don't know too sure. I don't really like that it broke over here. But it does show some potential. Wonder Gaming. I haven't looked into the company at all. I know nothing about it. Normally, I don't touch these penny stocks. It's too low for my interest. But it might be something to keep an eye on. But the volume's not too high. 221,000 volume today. So we're going to leave it at that. I think that's all I really want to show you today. I'll make another video if I'm going to talk about more of these stocks or more Canadian stocks. Thanks for watching. More videos are going to drop soon.